I was just calling about your application for legal services. Last time we spoke, we were in the middle of discussing your shelter-related issues. You had shared that shelter.
They haven't called me on the domestic violence yet. They never do. I need to do something because my abuser controls all my experiences and malice, and I never get services.
What you're talking about, I didn't know you had another.
Yeah, how do I get in contact? I'm sorry, there's police helicopters, legal aids, these sirens come. I don't know what to do. That's what I need to. You forgot what I told you last time? Why are they doing the separate services individually?
Because our foundation helps with different legal issues. If you are having a separate issue aside from the shelter-related issue, that would have to be a
Okay, well they won't. No place will call me on the domestic violence.
I didn't know you had a domestic. I don't know who's assigned to that case. I can take a look, but
Yeah, I told you this last time, and you hung up and didn't call me back. And so they disabled that phone, and I just happened to check the voicemail.
I didn't hang up the phone. The phone call disconnected.
You didn't call back, and I didn't have your number at the time, and you left messages without your number.
I have it documented on here that I did call you back 2 times since then.
I didn't get a call back that day. I got a call back later. You never called me back that day. I didn't get a call from you.
Sorry, I'm not sure what you want me to help you with.
People start arguments all the time when they mistreat me. It's a pattern. They don't want to give me services and they're scamming to deny them. So they start arguments with me when they are being dishonest with me. It happens all the time at the shelter and multiple different other locations. I get blamed for someone else's behavior repeatedly over and over. So are you blaming me for the fact that I did not get your call, and you don't want to talk about the fact that I didn't get your call, and then I got a message and you forgot to leave your number, and then you're blaming me for that you know whatever happened?
Are you hoping to get assistance with a domestic violence related issue?
I mean, I wanted all the help that I applied for, but I'm just concerned because until the domestic violence situation is handled, I'm never going to get services or proper treatment.
I will make note on here that you're hoping to get assistance with domestic violence. I don't know if that's something we're able to assist with.
No place is. That's why I need help with it. They're never going to help me as long as my abuser manipulates all my environments. That's the first part, that I'm never going to get services with you either, as long as he's controlling everybody I come in contact with.
Okay, I'm going to make a note on here that you want assistance with a domestic violence related issue. But all I can talk to you about is your shelter related issue.
Okay.
So do you want to share more about your shelter related issue?
It's just amazing that I get these interruptions and people like taunt me. I was listening to something on coercive control, and this happens quite frequently. I get these calls to antagonize, but hopefully you won't do that. And stalk too.
Hopefully I won't do what?
Antagonize. I get calls to antagonize and start arguments and hurt my feelings. Like somebody will call me and dangle services to deny them. It's happened years. Most of my calls are like that. It's emotional abuse.
I'm not guaranteeing any services.
This is a legal aid? This is a legal aid?
I'm just trying.
This is a legal aid, and I can't tell you the experiences as a legal aid? How are you going to protect me? It happens with the shelters. That's why I set up. I think that you have ulterior motives, ma'am. I don't even know if this is really the legal aid. You may be a spoofer. I get spoof calls. Legal aids, how are you going to protect me if you don't want to know what's happening and making excuses for what's happening? The relevancy of getting a legal aid is to be able to inform the legal aid of what's happening, and all of them are covering for the crimes. I don't know if this is really the legal aid or if my calls are being spoofed and my abuser is spoofing my calls and having the scammers call me to annoy and irritate and cause emotional distress. So I don't know what we're going to do because you called directly regarding the shelter, and I'm trying to communicate to you that they dangle services to not give it to me, and I'm being discriminated against. Are you there?
I'm listening. I'm trying to speak, but you're talking over me.
That's how people start. They gaslight me and start arguments. It's a pattern, like someone's controlling armies. Okay, I'm speaking over you. Okay, you said about the shelter, so go ahead. Had more questions, but you don't want me to tell you my needs. Go ahead, because everybody's doing it. That's why I need your assistance. So go ahead.
I asked you what was your issue with the shelters.
I was communicating it with you that I'm being discriminated against, and you gaslit me and blame me for your toxic behavior, like almost everyone that calls me. They dangle services that I don't get, and in addition to that, I'm being discriminated against.
Are you a participant at a shelter?
Abusive shelter. I wanted to relocate to a safe environment, and I'm blacklisted.
Are you actively a participant at a shelter?
Yes, the shelter is abusive, and they're discriminating against me with their services. They play games with food, and I get harassed. I don't want to disclose that, but I need to. I'm informing you. I sought out assistance for you because I'm getting discriminated against for all shelters that I've been to try to get relocated. They railroad me and forced me into one controlled.
Information on what shelter you're currently
That's
at?
that you don't need that.
Different shelters
That's
have
confidential.
different policies.
Are you being controlling me? Or you're not? No one listens to my rights and they violate them. Everyone I talk to just about on these calls act like abusers. So you won't honor my rights and let me keep it personal for my safety? I don't know who's monitoring this phone. I told you I'm in a domestic violence crisis. All my legal aids have sabotaged and put my safety at risk and sabotage legal representation. Everyone that I've ever had, even on kidnappings by false arrest. Since whenever a need is created for legal representation, it's sabotaged or denied. I experienced a lot of coercive control on these calls and in my life. So you're saying that we can't move forward and you're demanding that confidential information, and I told you that I'm in a domestic violence crisis? I don't want to tell you that.
Demanded anything.
Okay, well, I don't want to give you that. You said you needed the shelter, and I already told you I wasn't comfortable giving you that. And I want to keep it confidential, at least for now, on this phone call.
Okay. And I just need to let you know that without that information, I'm kind of limited in what I can discuss with the attorney. So I just need to.
How's that relevant that I experienced housing discrimination and shelter discrimination? I have all these catch-22s and schemes to keep me from services.
I never said that you weren't going to get service.
Okay, well, I can, do you have an email, and I'll email it to you? Or I'll text it to you.
You can text it to me at this phone number.
Okay, I'll do that, So, back to so is the attorney going to call me? Because this is your second phone call. And then you hung up, and then you got agitated when I told you your behavior. Most people do that. You did not. I didn't get a call back from you that day.
Well, I need to complete our intake questionnaire first before I can speak with the attorney about the details of your case.
Okay, I thought what else do you need?
Well, you said you were being discriminated and harassed. What does that mean?
You
Expand on that.
okay? So I thought you didn't want to know about the abuse. That you only want to know about the shelter, me being denied housing. So which one is it? Because you have to forgive me, but someone is paying people to waste my time and agitate. And like I said, each time that I'm trying to do something to build my life up, I get like prank calls. There is sugar-coated prank calls. So I was listening to something on abuse on Audible. And this happens quite frequently. When I was kidnapped in jail and I was listening to something on abuse, the tablet started glitching. And then they said that they couldn't give me another tablet. They had to send it to a shop, and I didn't have access to the tablet for a while. Then they put me on lockdown illegally. In a scam, they put me on lockdown to where I couldn't have the tablet for no reason. They said they didn't know why they did it. But I thought that was a violation of my rights. First off, I was kidnapped there, and just to put me last shot and put me on lockdown at Malice. But I can't get legal representation. Everyone's covering for this kind of mistreatment and abuse. So now you've changed your mind and you do want to know about the harassment and the abuse?
I'm asking about the harassment and discrimination related to your stay at a shelter.
I get oppressed and denied the shelter services, and they play games with my food. And they deny me.
They play games.
Like they'll give me burned food or food that's different from everyone else's. Everyone knows. But that's at numerous locations, just not the one that I'm at. It's happened in jail on bogus charges. It's happened in hospitals, and I've made complaints. It's happened at restaurants, and I've kept video record of it.
Okay, I'm speaking specifically about your experience at the shelter you were at.
That's not why I sought out representation. Are you demanding that I can only get something resolved at the shelter that I'm at? That endangers my livelihood there, because they're already scamming any kind of way they can to get me out of there from the discrimination. I contacted you. I feel like I'm being controlled. I feel like repeatedly over and over it's coercive control, and from what I was listening to, this is abuse. So I sought out legal representation, and you're not letting me make decisions on why I sought out this legal aid. I sought out this legal aid because I wanted to discuss how shelters were discriminated against me and wouldn't let me in them, and how I'm blacklisted and can't get shelter. That's why I contacted you, not for you to demand something else that I did not contact the legal aid for. But I experience this all the time. It's abuse. So you're demanding something that I did not seek out the legal aid for?
No, you shared that you were being discriminated and harassed by shelters, so I asked you what that discrimination and harassment was like.
Right. I sought out, if you won't let me talk, and you wouldn't let me talk to communicate with you, that I had needs to that at the legal aid to combat discrimination from shelters. No shelters will let me in. I get discriminated. That's why I contacted the legal aid. I don't know what you're talking about.
You just shared that you're a participant at a shelter, so I'm asking about...
Right, but you're railroading me into some assistance that I didn't seek. I'm not at trying to get concentrate on solely on the shelter that I'm at. That's not what I'm trying to communicate with you, and then you said I wouldn't let you talk. What I'm trying to communicate with you is that I'm being discriminated against with all shelters. And if they call me back, they'll dangle surfaces. They know that they'll never get me and waste my time, like armies full of other parties do. When I go in person, they already know who I am, and they'll deny assistance on pathological lies, and everyone always has excuses on why they're violating my rights and keeping me from services. It's happened years. I'm trying to prove to the FBI that indeed I am blacklisted from shelter and forced into homelessness. It's coercive control. So are you demanding that I get legal representation that I didn't seek for just for this one shelter when it's a problem with all shelters?
I didn't demand it.
Okay, well, good. That's what I sought out. I came there and did the paperwork to get legal representation and to protect myself. It says that you do housing discrimination, and I'm discriminated against with all shelters. And you want to concentrate on one shelter that I'm at, so obviously I got shelter there. I don't want to be there. It's abusive. And I'm railroaded to only toxic environments. I would like to concentrate on discrimination altogether as a whole. And that's what supposedly you help with. Shelter and housing discrimination as a whole.
Okay, like I said during our last call, I can't guarantee or confirm that we're able to represent you or provide you any services.
I've never had legal representation. I'm trying to prove that someone is actually interrupting my ability. I think my calls are spoofed. I think my calls are a spoof, and that's probably why everyone that calls me dangles services that they know that I'll never see. I think that there are fake calls, and I'm talking to con artists. I don't even know if you're really the legal aid because it's impossible for the people that are calling me on my phone to give me services. It's never happened. Ever. Something is wrong. And something is wrong with the police department coming and panicking when I'm telling my provider that something's wrong with my calls. And then having my provider give me criminal trespasses and cover for the crimes. I'm just trying to prove to someone that'll do something about it. Something is definitely wrong with these phone calls and why everybody seems to be aiding and abetting domestic violence. You just got to prove it to someone that'll change the situation. Not only are you going to deny me services, ma'am, all shelters were too. And like I said, I'm just trying to prove it. That my rights are indeed being violated. And it's virtually impossible for me to obtain services that other citizens can get in this country. Okay, well, is there anything else you need before you deny me? Because like I said, I've never gotten services with my phone calls. I think they're spoofed. And like I said, I think that's why the police freak out when I'm at my provider, informing my providers of this.
Can you tell me more about the harassment?
Well, you said that we weren't going to concentrate on that. People like to waste my time. Why do you want me to disclose the harassment to you if you don't help with domestic violence?
You said it was related to the shelter issue. If you don't want to share that, that's fine.
You help with housing discrimination. You're supposed to, but since my abuser's controlling all of my help, I won't see it. But you're supposed to help with housing discrimination, and I'm being discriminated against with housing and cannot relocate. Everyone I'm calling is denying me services. They dangle services that they know I'll never see for psychological abuse and torment. And then they call and waste my time and time. Too upset. That's the harassment. It's like a prank call, but it's using people that I'm in desperate need of to it's like official oppression, and someone that I'm in desperate need of help for to taunt and like dominate and like make me beg for services they know that I'll never get. It's a mind game. That's how the discrimination is. Is there anything else? Because I get prank calls to waste my time. It's a form of a prank call.
And when you say this is multiple shelters, do you know the names of the multiple shelters?
That are discriminating against me?
Yes.
I do. I'd like to give that to the attorney if the attorney takes the case. I don't want to invest all this time and be denied like what's been happening years. They have me go through all these hoops knowing that they're never going to give me the services. So before I give you my confidential information, I know that it's coercive control. I'd like to be able to know that you're going to represent me, and I'd like to do something about all these legal aids denying me of representation, and attorneys as well, being blacklisted from attorneys all this time. I don't know how to get legal representation to sue for people denying me legal representation in schemes. It violates my rights. I don't know if these calls are authentic. I think that the calls are fake, and the police department knows it. Like the email says that the police department is in cahoots, and the police department is having people and demanding that people tell me to handle all my business on the phone so I can talk to con artists. So when I go in person, numerous environments, there's the police right there. I think that I'm being illegally monitored in corruption, and then the police are demanding that I handle having these accomplices deny me assistance, and then have me force me to handle my business on the phone because they know I'll get denied. They're protecting their self. They don't want me getting legal representation because the government's trying to hide what they've done. So all these locations, they know my rights being violated. So they've railroad all their accomplices in places they're telling to deny me, to force me to handle my business on the phone, to speak with con artists, knowing that no one would ever believe the story. But a red flag is police don't come to someone's cell phone providers and panic unless they're doing something wrong. It happens all the time when I have peace. It's like a form of prank call, man. Someone just deliberately has a prearranged agenda before they call, and since it's bought off and paid, they will facilitate the agenda.
Okay, is there anything else you want to share
I don't know what else you need. I don't know if this call is authentic, ma'am. Like I said, my calls are spoofed. I don't know, but legal aids don't behave like this and won't let you speak to tell you the issue that you're having, and then cover for all your legal issues, aid and abet the crimes. That's bizarre to repeatedly keep happening, ma'am. So is there anything else that you need? It does not seem that you have my best interest at heart, as well as anyone else that I've ever talked to on my phone. Appears that all the phone calls that I can get are controlled. I'm just trying to prove it. Even churches that lock me out of Zoom groups and then don't answer texts. Family members. Friends that cars speed up like they're going to hit, and then people that call me, and then I say that they've called me and I don't get their call. And then, I run into people that I shouldn't have ran into, and then they say, I've called you. I said, didn't get the call. Like yours, and you tried to start an argument. I didn't get a call from you. But I don't know. I'm not a legal aid. I don't know what all you need, ma'am. Is that all that you needed?
if that's all you have to share about the harassment and discrimination you are experiencing, and that's all you're comfortable sharing, that's fine.
Well, this is two different things. Okay, you told me this was for housing discrimination only, and you could not help assist with the domestic violence crisis. You're contradicting yourself. And numerous people do that. I don't know what to do with that. It's a wonderful life. It's a different form of a prank call. I just call her now, legally monitor, call and interrupt, waste time. Actually, you can tell that something's wrong. And like I said, since it's a prearranged agenda, it kind of happens. And you claim that this is the legal aid playing on my phone? Are you there? Well, that's rude for you not to say anything, that you were taking notes and just ignore me. That's abusive.
About your experience with discrimination and
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what's happening. Yes, you said that you were going to concentrate on the discrimination I'm discriminated against in general. What I read on your bulletin board when I was in there in person, you help with housing discrimination and discrimination with shelters, not specifically one. I am blacklisted from shelter in whole as a whole and housing as a whole, which sells several different housing authority. I do the applications online. I don't know what's happening, and I sign up and never get the housing. I wait years and never get the